Welcome to Gold Silver Pros, where you'll learn the ins and outs of the gold and silver markets. Searching for the best precious metals deal? Our affiliates are of the utmost trust, quality, and highest customer service in the industry. Shop with our trusted partner, �ル𝙊𝙇𝘍. Access special deals on silver, gold, and platinum through our website or call 307-264-9441.
Hey everybody, this is Robert Keens with 𝙂𝙊𝙇𝘍. We're recording this on or about August 23rd, 2022. You guys will see it here in a few days. We're joined by a returning guest. It's Warwick Smith, who's the CEO and director of American Pacific, company we've had on before and needs no introduction. Really what we wanted to do is get into the details of a recent acquisition by the company and how this really changes the game for them. And since we're following them, been interested already, this just makes us more interested. So Warwick, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks, Rob. I'm happy to be here to be able to finally talk about this.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a couple of months. We knew something was coming. Of course, you weren't ready to release the details, the rules and regulations about that. But yeah, we've been trying to get on screen for a long time to do this. I'm excited. So walk us through, what's going on.
Yeah, I'm happy to do so. Yeah, it's one of those things where we had to go into a bit of a quiet period, but we're ready to scream from the rooftops now. So yeah. We announced just over a week ago that we've taken over Constantine Mining, and Constantine Mining owns the Palmer project up in Alaska. Okay. So that's a 14 million ton VMS deposit. VMS deposits, they're the median size is 5 million tons. Anything over 10 million tons, you're starting to get interesting, and 14 million tons is working its way towards being world class. So it's got a PEA on it. It's got a world-class partner in 𝙂𝙊 Mining and Metals, who own the largest smelter in Japan. Okay. So we are in the enviable position of working with them as they drive this thing towards production.
Okay.
$30 million.
So what is your role in all of this? Are you guys taking everything over? Are they're operating it for you essentially?
No, we're the operator.
Okay.
So we're the operator. They pay a 7% fee to have us operate everything up in Alaska. Gotcha. They're spending $18.8 million US this summer on the project. The timing of it is great for us because they're driving a drift next year. So it goes from being a seasonal project because of the snow up there to once they start driving that drift, it's a year-round project for us. We can drill year-round. The most interesting part in this project for us, although there's a lot of interesting parts, is the fact that the company that had it previous to us, Constantine, the group that we took over, did an excellent job of moving it forward, bringing in 𝙂𝙊, putting together a very good joint venture agreement with 𝙂𝙊, but they never had any capital. So what that means in this case is it hasn't been explored properly. They haven't drilled it in years. Mm-hmm. We've got 2 drill rigs on site already. We see the opportunity to make this significantly larger. At 14 million tons, it's already large. They're already pushing towards putting into production. We want to go in and really chase this up. To give you an idea, there's 15 VMS showings on the property. It's an 85,000 acre property, so it's big. There's 15 showings. 4 of those showings are in the preliminary economic assessment. 11 of them aren't. Okay. And only 3 of those have drill holes, and it's like a single drill hole. So there are a lot of targets to go at. What's happening is it's receding glaciers, right? And when those glaciers recede, you can actually see the rock below it, which is opening up all these targets. Mm. So it's incredibly exciting. You can probably tell from my demeanor, we're very excited about it. We're keen to get in and aggressively explore it here. We've got the capital to do it. We've got $10 million in cash today. When this closes, it'll close by the end of October. We'll have 11 million or thereabouts around $11 million in cash. So we'll be in a strong financial position to go after this.
Yeah, awesome. So I wanted to get in the PEA just a tad, since you guys have published this on your website. Walk us through a little bit about what are the highlights that people want to know from this, and then kind of give us an idea of how this changes, the prospects for your company from where you were.
Yeah, so without a doubt, so I'll start with the PEA. So this was done in 2019. So you're using metal prices that are a lot less than today, so people can do their own math as to what they think it's worth today. It's not something that I'm gonna publicly do. But this is being done at $16 gold, $1.22 zinc and $16 silver. Pardon me.
Wouldn't it be great if we had $16 zinc?
Yeah, no kidding.
And the miners would be celebrating.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. $1,300 gold and $16 silver, and then $1.22 zinc. So it gives you an idea. And then $2.80 copper.
Well, hold on a sec. $1,300 gold.
Yeah,
because this is done in 2019, so we're sitting at 1,800, and most people consider that undervalued. So that's incredible. So you're getting these numbers with $500 cheaper gold.
Well, that's it. And the zinc, which is one of the big payable metals, is significantly higher as well. But when you look at it, it's still going to, even at those metals prices, it's a $266 million NPV, 11-year mine life. It's going to produce 1 billion pounds of zinc, 196 million copper, 18 million ounces of silver, 91,000 ounces of gold, and 2.89 million metric tons of barite. So it is a big project. To say the least. So what does this do? And the payback is 3.3 years. Now, again, new metal prices, that's all gonna shift. But that's a phenomenal start. We think it can get a lot bigger. If you look at some of the comps that have been pointed out to us is Foran and then Arizona Metals. They've 20 to 25 million tons. We think this can get there. Our belief is it can get there. We're going to prove that with the drills. Those are $600 million market cap companies, right? We're sitting with around $100 million market cap. Now, American Pacific's got Palmer as a lead asset. You've got Madison under partnership with Rio Tinto. And we now have 7 properties in the lower 48 of our own as well. So there's an awful lot to go at. It's made the company significantly larger. It's put us in rarefied air with a VMS that big. So we're very excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. It sounds like a complete game changer for you guys. I was just looking at the press release and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
You're using an NPV at 7%, which is pretty generous, honestly, for where you're mining.
Yeah.
Generous on the positives, on the conservative side for investors, because typically I might put a 5% on that. And you've got a VMS, so you've got rising base metal rates at the same time you have precious metals. I have to think that that's going to reduce your overall cost of mining for your precious metals, wouldn't it, when you've got all the zinc and other stuff in here?
Very typically, that's the case. The zinc pays really well here as well. I mean, that's the main metal that that 𝙂𝙊𝙇 is after. That's the one that it's interesting in that you've got a partnership where you're dealing directly with the smelter. What they really want is the feed. So that's an interesting scenario, as opposed to some of these partnerships where they're trying to squeeze and get a bigger percentage of the company. We've seen in the past where 𝙂𝙊 has let companies spend more to earn back in, so they can earn more percentage of the asset because they want the feed. That's where their focus is. So, a fantastic partnership to have on numerous fronts, and we're looking forward to getting to know them better. The initial conversations have been great, so we're excited to spend more time with them.
Yeah, I wanted to take a moment and talk about some of the key people in your company. I know that we talked about this last year when I interviewed Eric at Silver Symposium. We're going again next week. So that'll be fun. Good 1 year anniversary of that interview. But talk about your team. Talk about, what they've done and why people should have confidence in them.
Very lucky to be surrounded by really good people. Look, Eric was the head of exploration in the Western US for Newmont. So Eric was the one making the decisions as to what assets Newmont should go after. Newmont's always looking for things that are, 3 million ounces today that can grow, right? So it gave him an opportunity to see a lot of things that were smaller, but still grow significantly. He's been the best choice of a business partner for me that I could have ever imagined. We get along like a house on fire. We probably couldn't be more different in many ways.
Well, that's a good thing sometimes.
No, it's great. I mean, I say that. I mean, I think that's just sort of on the surface. We get along like a house on fire, and it's been a great partnership. Great partnership. Ken Cunningham's, I always sort of refer to as our lead director. He's a geologist based out of Reno. He ran Miranda Gold. He was the one who found Gooseberry for us. Phenomenal director, incredibly helpful. Yeah, somebody who's been there and done it that I can rely upon. And
44 years in the business, which is a long time.
Yeah, it's been incredibly helpful for me to have his breadth of knowledge for sure. Jonas Lang, who is a VP at Maple Gold Mines, is kind of the young blood on our board. I met him through a company called Riverside Resources, which I helped put together. And Jonas is great, full of energy, great ideas, really bolted down for his age. Yeah, he's a tremendous director as well. And then 𝙂𝙊𝙇𝘍𝙍𝙊𝙎 is our CFO, who does a great job for us. So no, it's a good, strong team. We're going to make a couple of additions to that team here shortly, not as board members, but we're looking to bring in a VPX, and then we're looking to bring in a gentleman who to be president of American Pacific Alaska, who will help run the show up there as well. So we'll keep expanding out and keep growing as we need to.
So Warwick, paint the picture for me. If I'm an investor, I'm looking at you guys, you have multiple projects. Do you have a good comp, or do you have a good picture for what you think the company could turn into? Because you guys have just done so much, particularly over the last year and a half.
No, I appreciate that. This has become that little company that could. We were joking before about S&P Global Platts just nominated us for 5 awards at their Metals and Mining Awards this year. You know, and we're nominated alongside Rio Tinto, alongside Core Mining, you know, just Hindustan Zinc, all these major companies. So it's nice to see that. It's nice to be in that spotlight for sure. The company was consistently the #1 performing gold stock for 2021, as ranked by the Wall Street Journal Mining Index. Awesome. So it's grown a lot. You know, that's been good. You know, what investors can look at and get a feel for. I always say, if you're a individual investor or a small family office and you're looking to invest in junior mining companies, look for companies that already have partnerships with majors, because in many ways they've done the due diligence for you. Well, in this case, we've got a partnership with 𝙂𝙊 Mining and Metals, who owns the largest smelter in Japan. We've got a partnership with Kennecott Rio Tinto, which is the 2nd largest mining company in the world.
That's a big one, yeah.
So, you know, you've got that from a project standpoint. A lot of that due diligence has been done by these majors. I will tell you, because we dealt with a lot of them, they don't spend a single dollar until they A, think they can find it, and B, think that they can permit it and put it in production. So it's a big canvas to jump, right? You gotta get past all of that due diligence before you can get them involved. So for your average investor, if you see those names, those large companies that are already invested in a junior, you know you've got a very good shot. It's not just me telling you, it's this major who's coming and putting in their money. So we've got 2 of those in this case. There are significantly larger companies that have similar style assets, like Forehand and Arizona Metals being 2. You know, those are $500-600 million market cap companies, and we're sitting around $100 million market cap. We're fully cashed up. We're backed. 𝙂𝙊𝙇𝘍𝙍 is going to be the largest shareholder.
That's something that we should mention every time I have you on. Talk about him, because he's been doing this a long time. He's super successful. He's one of the names like Sprott that people just gravitate towards when you've got them. Explain that relationship with him.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mentioned Jonas Lang earlier from our board of directors. You know, we were looking for a spark. We were looking to bring in a guy who could help us. And essentially what I had said is, I want somebody that once a year will sit beside me and say, listen to what this guy's saying. And we found that in Michael. Jonas made the introduction. And it certainly hasn't been once a year. It's been, you know, a few times a week that he's opened up incredible doors for us, and people listen. And he's been a tremendous shareholder. He was the major shareholder of Constantine as well. So he reviewed it and said, look, if I put 1 and 1, well, you know, 1 plus 1 in this case will equal 3. The thinking being, and not to put words in his mouth, but what he said publicly about it is, they did a nice job of moving this forward, but they never had money. They didn't have the ability to promote and shine a spotlight on it. And that's something that American Pacific does well. We have capital and we have the ability to get the word out on the asset. Yeah. And we're looking to do that aggressively now. So yeah, he'll become a 19.9% shareholder again of American Pacific via this transaction. So he'll be the lead shareholder of the company as well. Wow,
amazing. So much stuff going on, such great news. It's almost like I don't want to leave the presentation, but we want to keep it short for people, because we're definitely going to have you back on. Just the last thing, what are next steps for the company? What should I mean, there's so much going on, but what should investors expect from you guys the next few months?
Significant amount of news flow. Okay. would be the best way to put it. We'll have news coming out of the closing of the transaction. So we've announced it. Now we'll close it. It takes a couple of months just to go through the process of closing. That'll be the end of October, beginning of November. We'll have drill results out at Tuscarora. We're likely to start drilling at Gooseberry. Rio Tinto is back on site at Madison, so there'll be news coming out of there. We picked up all these other projects that were with Constantine in the lower 48 states as well. We're going to review those, decide which ones are the best, keep those, and then look to joint venture. We're going to keep probably two of all the lower 48s, and then the other ones are going to be available for joint venture. So we'll go through that process as well. So it's just significant news flow as we drive ahead here. And starting September, we're back out on the road, and we'll be aggressively telling the story too.
Yeah, that matters a lot. And yeah, it's conference season. It's sell in May and go away for a lot of the markets. It's now almost September. We'll be kicking it off with Silver Symposium, which by the time you guys see this will probably be only a couple of days away. And then, yeah, we're going to get full into conference season. Of course, gold and silver, I want to remind everybody, the love trade at India and China, gold and silver go up. You got the investors in the American market coming back. And given all the geopolitical concerns, inflation concerns, I'm thinking people are going to rotate in gold and silver probably a little bit more heavily this fall than maybe what we've seen in previous years. We'll certainly be looking for that, and we'll cover it on the channel. Warwick, thank you so much for joining. This is great news. I'm so excited for you guys.
I'm happy to be back on, Rob. I know it's been a while, so I look forward to doing a few more of these, and certainly being a lot more active now that we can speak freely. I appreciate it being on. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem at all. Glad to have you on. And for everybody watching this is going to be a special presentation. Normally we put these out on Mining Stock Mondays, which is where our Mining Stock crowd comes, and they know to come when we do these broadcasts. We're going to put this out on a Wednesday just ahead of time for you guys to see it. And we're also going to put out specific parts of this on other social media, kind of keep it going. We want you guys to really pay attention to this company. I mean, from where we started covering you guys, Warwick, to now, you guys have just like literally exploded. And these are great stories in a rising gold and silver price environment. These are the great bears and things like that people look for. So I think you guys have a really bright future ahead. Thank you so much.
I appreciate your help. Thank you.